Do you remember a time when your anger was so strong that it felt like a volcano erupted inside you? Take a moment to picture this anger, which is as hot as 1,000 suns, was about to go out today, not tomorrow or next week. There are times when it seems like the world is meant to test our patience and push us to the edge. Stoicism is an old way of thinking that has stood the test of time. But what if I told you that for more than 2,000 years holds the key to not only controlling this anger, but also getting rid of it totally? Doesn't it sound almost too good to be true? Still, here we are about to start people on a trip that has changed their lives and promises to change more. Not just brief times of peace, but deep, long-lasting peace. Come with me as we talk about how Stoicism, which gives us deep insights into how our feelings work and our thoughts, can help us stay calm and strong no matter what life throws at us. Stay tuned as we get to the bottom of what it means to really let go of anger. Let yourself live a peaceful and happy life if you like what we're doing here. If you want to join a group of people who aren't afraid to take the same old paths, I'll ask you for one small favor, is to click subscribe and don't skip any of the video. You are unique in a world that mostly settles for the ordinary, just like the wisdom of Stoicism. At first glance, the job at hand may seem easy, but it has a long history of being done this way. That has given comfort and strength to many, including one of the most respected people in history. Abraham Lincoln had a special way of dealing with his anger and frustrations. His favorite place to be when he was furious with someone or something was alone with his thoughts. Take out a pen and paper and write down all of your bad feelings. He called them hot letters, but he never sent them. He would destroy them, which would make all of those angry feelings go away for good. They didn't leave any damage behind, so why are we starting here? That we have to write down all the things that make us mad and then set that list on fire. The idea that letting go is a profoundly wise thing to do is at the heart of Stoicism. The Stoics teach us that it's important to know the difference between what we can control and what we can't, and what comes after it, our feelings, our responses, and how we choose to deal with them. Those outside things that make us angry are right in our control. Not so much that this exercise shows up in the body as a very meaningful act of recognizing our anger, facing it, and then choosing to let it go. It's about taking a moment and not letting it control us or what we do. To really think about what's been bubbling below the surface, name it, and then make a choice. To stop the fires from spreading even more, write it all down. We're not giving our anger a place to behave. Instead, we're taking away its power. The list is being kept on a piece of paper that will soon be burned. Burning the list is more than just a destructive act, but one of deep freedom. It's a message to ourselves that we won't let our anger hold us prisoners. It's a statement that we're ready to move on without being held back by old grudges. This act, which was inspired by Lincoln's wise words, is the first step toward adopting a calm attitude. One that puts the peace of our inner world above the confusion of the outside world. When we see the paper go up in flames, let it tell us that our anger can also be burned away. Nothing was left behind but the lessons it taught us. This isn't about hiding how we feel or act like they don't exist. It's about recognizing them and learning from them, and then letting them go with grace. This is what Stoicism is all about. Finding power in peace. Peace is powerful, and letting go is smart. Now is the time to pull up a mirror and take a hard look at ourselves while we feel angry. This may seem like an odd or even awkward request, but there's a deep meaning behind it. There is deep wisdom in Stoic thought to be gained from this practice. The Stoics knew that knowing yourself is an important part of growing as a person. When we look at our anger in the mirror, we're not just looking at how we look. You are inviting us to see the change that happens when we let our anger take over. It's about seeing how ugly anger is, not just thinking about it in a general way, but as a real, obvious force that changes how we look, and by extension, how we see ourselves. This job might show us something we're not proud of, that we wouldn't normally see. We'd rather hide from ourselves and the world when we're angry. Insidious way of getting into our faces and making us clench our jaws and raise our eyebrows. And lighting our eyes on fire with a fire that can be scary to see in the mirror. This mirror isn't just a picture of our bodies, it also shows us our minds. Turmoil is a clear example of how much we let outside events affect us, tell us how we should feel inside, but this is where the Stoic theory shines. Marcus Aurelius wrote a lot about how short life is, which teaches us about how silly anger is. Looking at ourselves when we're mad can help us see how silly the things that make us angry are. We are shown in a stark way how small things can twist our whole selves. This activity shows how anger can make us feel alone, not just with other people. But from our true selves, it's a moment of clarity when we realize how silly it is to let outside events affect us. To keep our most private feelings in check becomes clear, yet there is also a sense of freedom in realizing the power of this. We've given anger unintentionally, lets us start taking that power back. In the long run, it will help us stop letting every little thing that comes our way control us. This observation of ourselves helps us remember that we can pick a different reaction. To not let our anger turn our faces into hostile and angry masks. We're doing more than just facing our anger when we do this silent exercise. We're having a conversation with ourselves about who we want to be and how we want to live our lives. Angry, or do we try to show that we are cool, peaceful, and understanding? This is the choice that Stoicism gives us, even when we are being pushed, giving us not only a philosophical view, but also a useful way to live up to the ideals we want to have. Marcus Aurelius talked a lot about an inner castle, which is a fortress of the mind that remains safe from the chaos of the outside world. In his opinion, the best place to relax and unwind was inside our own thoughts, available at all times no matter what. This isn't about escaping reality. It's not about denying or avoiding the truths that face us. It's about finding a place of peace and rebirth. A center of calm in the middle of the chaos. That's the beauty of this idea, lies in how simple it is and how deep it goes to find a beautiful place. Doesn't require us to go on a fancy holiday or even leave our homes. To find and grow a mental place, we have to go deep into our own minds. When we think of a place or time that made us happy, peace and beauty may rule. A picture of a peaceful scenery, or just a state of mind that makes us think of peace and beauty. Some people may find comfort in a memory of lying in the grass as a child. Looking up at a clear sky makes some people feel totally at ease. It might be the sound of waves breaking on the shore or the peace of the top of a mountain. Above the sky, the important thing is that this place is real or imagined. Is this place, just for us, a safe place to go when we start to feel angry? Finding our own place of beauty isn't just a way to relax for a short time. It has to do with changing the way we deal with anger by consciously. When we choose to go to our place of beauty, we use our freedom to choose. The way we react to the world around us shows that we know we can't control everything. That happens to us. We have full power over how we react. We are following one of the main ideas of Stoicism when we choose to answer with peace by turning to beauty. The ability of our brains to change what we do and feel. This activity makes it easier for us to find peace and beauty in the outside world. As we take care of our inner spaces, we become more in tune with and the beautiful things that happen every day. Like the sun on our faces, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, and the simple happiness of a smile shared. Even though they only last a short time, these moments tell us that peace and beauty are always close by, that they are not only in the big views, but also in the little everyday things. It's not enough to just come up with a catchy phrase to take our minds off of things. We need to center our thoughts, keeping in mind our promise to follow the principles of Stoicism and picking the path of patience, seeing things clearly and finding peace in the rough seas of anger. A mantra is more than just a bunch of words. It's the voice of our greatest ideals, a lighthouse that points us back to our calm center when everything else seems set on derailing us. It comes from the Stoic beliefs that stress how important it is to control how we think and feel, and thoughts about what was going on in the world. Just like Marcus Aurelius did with his meditations, we can have our own mantra like Seneca's letters and great teachers did. The making of a mantra as a personal statement of our dedication to Stoic values. We have to think about the values that are most important to us during this very personal process. And the kind of person we want to be, it could be a saying that helps us. The bigger picture, to remember that this too shall pass, or to understand that we have the power to stay safe. It could be a lesson to face the challenge. Either to find strength and serenity, it's important that it hits you deeply and captures the essence of your Stoic practice when things happen that make us try our patience. Saying our phrase over and over again can help us mentally stop what's making us angry, giving us a short break to think about what we're doing before we act and choose a more thoughtful reaction. It gives us the power to break out of the cycle of automatic emotional responses through repeating our mantra. To make sure that our deeds are in line with our philosophical ideals, we tell ourselves that we have the power to be calm, to reason, to care, and to be compassionate. Making and using a motto can help you deal with the problems you face in life. It also helps us remember our Stoic values every day. It combines Stoicism. We live by it every day, so it's not just a philosophy we learn, but a real event that changes how we connect with each other over time. Our mantra is no longer just a way to deal with anger. It becomes a steady friend, something that gives us strength and focus and helps us get through the hard parts of life. As we start the process of making our theme, let's take it very seriously. Words that speak to the depths of our souls with the respect they deserve, that show our greatest hopes and make us promise to follow the Stoic path. Let's not only use our motto to keep ourselves from getting angry, but also as a light to help us become wise. Ethics and learning more about ourselves and the world around us. The job at hand may look like a passive or even dull one at first glance, but this simple act has a strong Stoic lesson that can change the way we see things in a big way, of the world and our place in it. This is more than just watching, it's about paying attention with the goal of learning from the world around us and becoming more empathetic, and knowing that it's easy to get caught up in our own stories in the busyness of everyday life, to see our problems and irritations as huge problems that are bigger than everything else. Problems can make us feel like they're taking over our lives, making it hard to make decisions and making us feel important. This is where the Stoic knowledge and the practice of watching people come in handy, can help you see things more clearly and objectively. The Stoics' deep understanding of people knew how important it was to take a step back and look at the world from a different angle. Marcus Aurelius often talked about looking down on life and thinking about the wide web of people's lives, and being aware of how temporary our place is in it when we watch others. We're not just watching people go about their day, we're also trying to understand their points of view. That makes us feel humble and educated as we see the many ways other people's lives go. The little pleasures, the challenges, the times of connection, and the times of anger. We see how the themes of love, loss, and desire show how common the human experience is, and sadness show up in a huge range of ways on the faces and bodies of the people we watch. Making this statement is a powerful way to remember that, in the big picture, it helps to remember that our troubles aren't always as big as they seem. Getting through the complicated parts of our lives is hard for everyone else too. This realization makes us more empathetic and aware of how much we have in common, and a view that is less focused on oneself, which can often lead to anger and frustration. In addition, watching people as a silent habit makes us think on how we react to the world by watching how other people handle their problems. When we see how pointless anger and rage are, we can gain insight into how we act. We are reminded of the Stoic ideals of equanimity when we think about how these feelings often make things worse instead of better, and being okay with handling life's problems with grace and calm. When we do this, let's do it with an open mind and a sense of interest. Let's remember not to attack, but to understand, not to judge. But let this time of being watched by others be a mirror that shows us what we need to learn. The fact that we all have the same problems and joys makes us realize that our problems don't last forever, and a call to treat the world with compassion, kindness, and understanding. The Stoics know how important it is to do things that make you feel good. They may not have said to pick up a pencil or play the guitar, but they did say to broaden your mind. The main idea behind their lessons is that we should find ways to express our feelings, to put our efforts into things that not only make us happy, but also make us feel like we've accomplished something. Peace. Being artistic isn't just a way to pass the time. It's also good for you. It gives us a place away from the things that bother or anger us, where we can say what we want without fear of being judged or censored. Being creative is a conversation between our deepest thoughts and the outside world, a conversation that can be very healing and educational, whether it's in writing. Whether you paint, play music, dance, or do something else creative, we are given the chance to look into our feelings in order to understand them, and to turn them into something real and often beautiful. This change, which uses our feelings, is where the real magic is. By focusing on our creative projects, we're not just taking our minds off of our anger. As if by alchemy, we're consciously turning our anger into something useful. This process is very healing and turns raw ideas into works of art, letting us get rid of our feelings in a healthy and positive way. Not to mention the act of making something, like coming up with a new idea or performing art, gives you a sense of pride and achievement, which helps fight feelings of helplessness or anxiety that often come with anger for reasons other than their own. Developing our creativity can improve our health and happiness in many situations. Being creative gets our brains working, which helps us think of new ways to do things. We feel a sense of flow when we're really into something and time seems to stand still, and we're totally focused on the job at hand. Being in this state of flow is not only very satisfying, but it also helps our mental and emotional health and makes us more creative, helps us feel connected to our own inner worlds and to the larger group of creators and enjoy sharing our artistic work, whether it's a poem or a story. A painting or a piece of music can lead to important interactions, and making connections with other people, it helps us remember that our feelings are shared by many, that our feelings, in all their complexity, are part of what it means to be human. This technique, which seems easy, is actually a powerful one that helps us stay calm in rough seas. Of our feelings, especially anger, it's about making a space on purpose. There is a short break between stimulus and reaction that lets us choose. Stoic philosophy has a lot to do with how we should respond to the world around us, stressing how important self-control is and how free we feel when we're not tied down by our immediate responses. An active break is not the same thing as doing nothing or being passive. It's an active way to connect with our own inner processes. It's about being aware of the present moment. When our feelings are about to get out of hand, and we choose to take a step back, this pause gives us power. It's a statement that we're not powerless over our first thoughts. We take back the time and space we need to think about our ideals, and pick an answer that fits with them in the heat of the moment. When anger is about to pour out, the active pause is like a cool-down bomb. Let's remember that we can pick a different path, one marked by reason, kindness, and understanding. By taking this moment to think about our responses, we make room for more positive ones. And important interactions, we give ourselves a chance to think about the bigger picture and understand how others feel, to react in a way that builds bridges instead of destroying them. This is also in line with what the Stoics taught, that it's not outside events that bother us, but how we think about them. When we stop, we can look at these opinions and question whether they are right. And changing our point of view can make a big difference in how we see the world, changing situations that might have made you angry into chances to learn and grow. But how do we make this a habit in our daily lives? Mindfulness is the first step, with becoming more aware of our feelings and the things that can make us angry. Being aware of these things helps us notice the first signs of anger or frustration that tell us we need to take a break. We can take a few deep breaths, step back, and ask ourselves important questions during this break. What makes me feel this way, and what values do I want to guide my response? What do I hope will happen? This process of reflection helps us move forward. We should choose actions that show who we really are and our dedication to Stoic ideals. The great thing about the active stop is that you can use it anywhere. This is a tool that everyone can use to solve problems, from small annoyances to big disagreements. That doesn't need any special tools or conditions. All you need is the will to take a short step back and pick a different answer. As we work on this method, it becomes a natural part of our repertoire, a reaction we do automatically that makes life better. In line with Stoic virtues, it's not about making fun of our feelings or saying that our complaints aren't real. Instead, it's a deep practice that comes from the Stoic thought. Focusing on how changing our point of view can help us better handle our feelings. It's about how humor can change things and acknowledging that sometimes it is up to us. How much weight we give our complaints, we can choose to make them less important. The Stoics knew that we have control over how we respond to things happening around us. They taught us that. By changing how we think about or judge these events, we can change how we feel about them. This exercise is a great example of how to use that concept. It makes us think that we should change the way we look at things that normally make us angry, one that shows how silly, ironic, or just plain stupid the situation is. Not only are we trying to find funny things, but we're also trying to see the too much value we give to the things that make us angry and choosing a more balanced, a healthier reaction. Think about the things that bother you every day that might be on your list. There were traffic jams, spilled coffee, an annoying coworker's habit, and a lost phone. When we're angry, these little things can seem like huge problems that could ruin our whole day. But if we stop and look at them from a different angle, we can see that they have comic potential. Traffic jams are a shared experience of how patient or not patient people can be. Finding the funny side of things like spilled coffee, the universe's penchant for chaos, and so on. We're not trying to downplay our initial anger. Instead, we're letting ourselves feel it. To let go of them and accept the happier, stronger state of mind. In addition, this method uses the health and happiness benefits of laughing. Endorphins are the body's natural chemicals that make you feel good. They are released when you laugh. It makes us breathe in more oxygen-rich air, which improves our general health and temporarily eases pain, strengthens our heart, lungs, and muscles, and it makes our brains release more endorphins. In addition, laughter can boost our immune systems, ease pain, and make us happier, and improve our happiness, have long-term health benefits that can make a big difference, and happiness, as well as finding fun in our problems. One of the fastest ways to connect with others is to laugh together, and lower social stress when we share our funny take on everyday problems. We'll probably find that other people can relate, which will lead to times of understanding and connection. This not only calms us down, but it also helps us remember that we're not the only ones going through this. The Stoics thought that self-discipline was a good thing and that keeping peace was important. Between the mind and the body, they knew that a mind that was upset could cause, they pushed for habits that would improve. Physical health and vice versa. That could make the mind stronger and make sure it has control over feelings. This is where anger exercise come in as a very useful tool. a physical representation of Stoic ideas that teaches us how to move our turbulent energy in a better direction and get into a state of calm and balance by doing physical activities, whether you're going for a fast walk, a tough workout, or a relaxing yoga session, serves more than one goal. First, it's a distraction, taking our attention off of the things that are making us angry and giving us a break. Getting out of the loop of negative thoughts can be very freeing on its own, giving us the time and room to think about our feelings again. From a more balanced point of view, exercise affects our bodies in a deeper way, causing endorphins, which are often called the body's natural mood boosters, to be released. These hormones can lessen the feeling of pain and make you feel greater well-being. Moving our bodies is a good way to deal with the physical and mental stress of anger. Overcoming physical limitations and reaching important psychological goals can also boost our confidence and sense of self-control by reminding us that we can handle obstacles, both on and off the exercise mat. But exercise has more benefits than just making you feel good right away. Because it's a good way to pass the time, regular physical exercise has been shown to lower stress levels. Over time, anxiety and sadness make people stronger and more stable. Emotionally, it makes us better able to control ourselves, making it easier for us to control how we react to things that make us angry. Basically, exercise gives us a kind of mental armor that protects us from the slings and arrows of life, the ups and downs of daily life, and helping us face problems with calm and resolve. Let's not just think of today's exercise as a physical job as we start it, but as an exercise with deep philosophical meaning. Let us pay attention to the rhythm of our breath. Being able to move with strength in our bodies and mind, let every step, every stretch, and every effort show how committed we are to living a calm and healthy life. It's not enough to just thank people more often or notice when they do us a favor. The way we see the world and our place in it has changed in a deeper, more meaningful way. Stoic thought is deeply connected to the practice of being grateful, which helps us respect what we have and understand how important our experiences are, and to see the good things around us even when things are bad. The Stoics know that our focus determines our world. They believe that we can change our focus to see something else. From our annoyances and anger to the good things and beauty in our lives, we allow a life-changing event to happen. This change isn't about avoiding the problems or wrongs we face, but about changing how we relate to them. It's about seeing the chances to grow. Even our worst times give us the chance to learn and bond. Being grateful means actively seeking out the good in our lives, recognizing it, and realizing how valuable it is. Every day you have to wake up and see the wonder of life itself. I love the outdoors, my friends, and the comfort of my own home. And the many small gifts we miss when we're looking for something bigger, something better. It's about finding happiness. Doesn't come from outside accomplishments or possessions, but from a deep respect of what you have and acceptance of what it is that this practice makes our lives better in so many ways. It creates a happiness that is hard to shake when bad things happen in the outside world. When we're thankful, the little things that used to make us mad don't bother us as much, become less important and less likely to upset our peace. Being thankful makes our relationship stronger. It changes the way we interact with others because it helps us see and respect their worth. Making us more grateful, giving, empathetic, and kind studies have shown that has big effects on our physical and mental health. Being thankful can help us sleep better, feel less stressed, and fight off sickness. It can make us happier with our lives in general, lower our chance of chronic diseases, and help us stay healthy. It makes us stronger when bad things happen and more receptive to the beauty and chances that life gives. How do we make being thankful a habit? We have to set the goal and take a moment to notice what we're thankful for, to notice and carefully thank the good things in our lives. One way to do this is to write down the things we're grateful for every day in a gratitude notebook. It could mean beginning or closing our day with a meditation on gratitude in which we think about the good things that have happened to us. Or it could be as easy as showing our gratitude to others more often, not just with words, but by the things we do as we close this part of our Stoic journey together. Don't forget that this is not the end of the way to growth, resilience, and inner peace. It's a part of every breath you take, every task you face, and every moment of thanksgiving. Take Amor Fati advice with you and let it guide you. Every problem you face should be seen as a chance to grow. Thank you for walking this road with me as you become your best self, for taking on the lessons of Stoicism and being an important part of the Stoic Diary. Don't let the journey end here. I encourage you to watch one of the videos on your screen to learn more. We are learning and growing together, and we are not just studying Stoicism. We are living it. Thanks for watching and see you in next video.